As millions of years passed, the Triassic came to an end, and the dinosaurs emerged triumphant in their long struggle for dominance. Now, a new world order was about to be established, one ruled by a new cast of characters. From large herbivores with long necks to fearsome predators larger than their Triassic ancestors. And from strange armored beasts to hunters adorned with equally bizarre ornaments. Among these new animals was a dinosaur called Dilophosaurus. In this story, we will follow the life of just one of these peculiar theropods and his struggle growing up in a dangerous land. For the dinosaurs, it's a new day, a fresh beginning, a brave new world. Deep within a Mesozoic forest, a trio of baby dinosaurs rest by a tree stump. These are young Dilophosaurus, just about 2 months old. For the moment, the scene is calm and peaceful. But then, someone approaches. The mother has come home. This particular chick is a male that we'll know as Draco. Here are his siblings, Sapphire, a female, and Razor, a male. Their mother went to find food, but it seems she has come back empty-handed. Now awake, Draco seems interested in a bit of play. To him, he's the king of them all. But Sapphire thinks otherwise. It is the beginning of the Jurassic period. As of now, the supercontinent of Pangaea has split up into two separate continents, Laurasia to the north and Gondwana to the south. On both ends of the world, the land belongs to the dinosaurs. These are Sarahsaurus, large herbivorous dinosaurs that can grow up to around 3.4 meters long. The beach here provides an abundance of plant life, enough to sustain such herbivores. Sarahsaurus belongs to a group of dinosaurs known as prosauropods. These dinosaurs are known for their long necks, which allows them to feed on plants higher up in trees. This herd is joined by another resident, a Scelidosaurus. At about 4 meters long, this dinosaur's back is covered in bony scutes, which seems to make it slow and cumbersome. Because it lacks the long neck of Sarahsaurus, Scelidosaurus feeds closer to the ground. Besides dinosaurs, turtles like this Kayentachelys become more widespread throughout the world. The herbivores seem safe, but the beach leaves them exposed to hungry eyes. A Kayentavenator stalks the feeding dinosaurs. Against a provoked Sarahsaurus, the predator stands no chance of making a kill. Back in the forest, Draco and his family spend their time resting together. At around 6 to 7 meters in length, Dilophosaurus was among the first truly large theropods, or meat-eating dinosaurs, and was the largest predator of its environment. Though the very first theropods evolved during the Triassic period, they remained small and were unable to efficiently compete with the larger Rhamphinions. which were the apex predators at the time. But during the Triassic mass extinction, the Rhamphinions died out, leaving open a niche exploited by the theropod dinosaurs. With this new niche, evolution helped give the theropods the tools to become masters of their domain. Their hind limbs remained underneath their bodies, but became longer, making them faster runners. Their arms also became longer, able to support large, sharp claws with which to disembowel their prey. Their collarbones also fused into one unit and acted like a brace, absorbing the stress of struggling prey that could otherwise damage their arms while the theropod held it down. In modern-day birds, the dinosaurs' descendants, this single bone, called a furcula, or more commonly a wishbone, would act as a spring to reduce the amount of energy spent while flying. But the greatest weapons that theropods possessed were their jaws. Filled with teeth that acted like steak knives, theropods had undoubtedly lethal mouths. Besides their teeth, theropod dinosaurs had a remarkable advantage with which to assist in handling struggling prey, the intramandibular joint, abbreviated to the IMJ. The IMJ is a muscle between the teeth in the upper and lower jaws that, much like the wishbone, acted as a shock absorber for when a theropod bit down onto a moving animal. As the prey item struggled, the muscle would flex, keeping both the teeth and the skull itself from breaking from muscular stress. A variety of theropods had evolved during the early Jurassic, all capable hunters and all apex predators of their individual ecosystems. It would be the start of a revolutionary group of hypercarnivores, destined to terrorize planet Earth for the next 130 million years. 2 months pass. In the forest, a lone Sarahsaurus forages for food. Because of their size, Sarahsaurus are a difficult target for predators, and therefore have few enemies. Except for Dilophosaurus. For the first time since they hatched, the mother has brought Draco, Sapphire, and Razor with her on a hunt. The arms of Sarahsaurus are normally used to pull down branches, but they are armed with sharp claws that can cause serious injury. To succeed, she must be cautious. Kayentavenator has killed Razor. For the first time in his life, Draco witnesses the cruelty and danger of the world he has been brought into. But their mother will not grieve forever. For all the tragedy and chaos that the dinosaurs face, life in a prehistoric forest can be quite tranquil and relaxing. In the days following their brother's death, the mother Dilophosaurus has moved Draco and Sapphire to a new location. Dinosaurs may be dominant, but they aren't the only animals around. This is Rhamphinion, a flying reptile that belongs to a family of creatures known as pterosaurs. Pterosaurs are not dinosaurs, contrary to popular belief. They evolved along the same evolutionary line that dinosaurs did, but branched off into their own family. Pterosaurs were the first vertebrates to be able to fly, and they had unique adaptations to suit this way of life. Their wings formed from an extended pinky finger, which, in life, would have supported a thin layer of skin, which would help keep the pterosaur aloft in the air while flying. It's a wing design that resembles those of modern-day bats. Their skeletons were also quite hollow, for dense bones wouldn't allow these animals to get off the ground to fly. Early pterosaurs, like Rhamphinion, also had long tails to assist in direction during flying. Later on, the pterosaurs' tails would reduce in size to support longer wings. The pterosaurs first evolved in the Triassic, and they will continue to rule the skies right up until the end of the Mesozoic era. In the midst of the pterosaurs' arrival, Draco and Sapphire continue to play. But their antics have led them into danger. A pair of Coelophysis have been spotting on the pair. At 3 meters long, they are too small to take on an adult Dilophosaurus. But the youngsters are another matter. First razor, now sapphire. It has been 2 years since Draco lost his siblings at the hands of nature. Now a subadult, he still stays with his mother, but has become more independent from her. Today, this exploration finds him a foraging Scelidosaurus. Scelidosaurus is one of the very first thyreophorans. Thyreophorans are armored dinosaurs, and in later years, animals like Scelidosaurus will evolve into giants like Stegosaurus and Ankylosaurus. The back of Scelidosaurus is covered in osteoderms, bony deposits that can form scales, scutes, and/or plates. This feature isn't unique to just dinosaurs. Today, crocodiles, one of the dinosaurs' closest living relatives, also have osteoderms, and develop them for protection from attacks by their own kind. The earliest thyreophorans appeared around 5 million years prior to Scelidosaurus. They were bipedal and had tiny osteoderms that weren't very effective against large predators. Because its armor was much more powerful, Scelidosaurus had to sacrifice its ancestors' bipedal stance and became a quadruped. But what it lacked in speed, it very much made up for in armor. These osteoderms were capable of deterring even the most powerful of theropods. An inexperienced Coelophysis foolishly approaches the Scelidosaurus. Elsewhere, Draco's mother sleeps in their new home. As Draco grows older, she's coming into heat again. It won't be long before she mates and becomes pregnant again. She finds a young male who followed pheromones left by her, leading him to her territory. But he's not the only one attracted to her. The darker color patterns on this male show his seniority. He has seen many a fight, and to him, this younger individual is a pushover. It may not seem like it, but this mating will change Draco's life forever. A few months go by, and Draco has become 3 years old. Up until this point, he has seen his mother as his protector. Today, that all changes. Now pregnant, she cannot afford to keep a jealous sibling with her for risk of competition with her future litter. For the first time in his life, Draco is alone, and this time, his mother won't be there to protect him. Weeks have passed since Draco left his mother. A Sarahsaurus casually browses from the trees. Draco eyes it with interest. Unfortunately, the young dinosaur has wandered into the territory of the male Dilophosaurus. Above all other predators in these Jurassic forests, male Dilophosaurus are the biggest threat to juveniles. If he finds Draco, he'll surely kill him. Draco lies motionless, having died of injuries dealt to him by the male Dilophosaurus. Drawn to the smell of his corpse is none other than his mother. It is unknown whether or not she can tell if this is her own son. In the end, however, she must move on. The survival of her future chicks is now her primary focus. For Draco, his struggles through life are over. Draco's death at a young age may be tragic, but in the context of nature, it's not completely unnatural. The holotype for Dilophosaurus, a specimen of a species that is used to compare sizes with other specimens of the same species, was in fact a subadult. The cause of death is not very well known. It's possible that the dinosaur died of sickness, or of malnutrition, or simply internal bleeding caused by an accident of sorts. Whatever the case, it is clear that this Dilophosaur did not live long enough to reach adulthood. In nature today, the chances of young animals, particularly carnivores, surviving to a ripe old age is never guaranteed, and more often than not they die before reaching such ages. Therefore, it wouldn't be unreasonable to predict that dinosaurs face the same predicament. Even so, such a predicament didn't stop them from ruling the world for 160 million years. Dilophosaurus itself would continue to rule Jurassic North America for another 5 million years. But eventually, it did indeed die out, leaving the niche of apex predator open to be taken by other, more powerful theropods. With the rise of these new hunters, the herbivores evolved as well. Sarahsaurus' descendants would become bigger, with longer necks to reach taller trees. And the offspring of Scelidosaurus would evolve stronger armor to better defend themselves from the larger carnivores. The descendants of these dinosaurs were to evolve into some of the most iconic prehistoric beasts known to science. From giant armored herbivores like Stegosaurus, to the titanic sauropods, the largest animals to ever walk the earth, to some of the fiercest of all theropod dinosaurs, predators that would take killing to a whole new level. It would be the beginning of what many consider to be the golden age of the dinosaurs. For now, life goes on in prehistoric Arizona. As the morning progresses, the herbivores come together to feed on fresh plants, always wary of watching predators. In the distance, a lone Kayentavenator stalks the herd, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It's a scene that only hints to the future of the dinosaurs in this brave new world. A future filled with prosperity and diversity. But most importantly, a future dominated by awesome new giants.